welcome to The Perspective. I'm your host, Bimanta Swastoyo. And today we have this guest from Singapore, or Germany, or wherever you are from. Rainer Häufer. He's the co-founder of the Center of Indonesian Policy Studies.
That's
welcome
right.
to The Perspective.
Thank you very much.
So you're a co-founder. Who's the other one?
My partner in this center is Ms. Saida Sakwan. She used to be a member of parliament for PKB two periods ago.
Yeah.
And right now she is the deputy chairperson of the KPPU here in Jakarta.
KPPU.
KPPU, the Commission for the Protection of
So this foundation must be non-profit then?
This is non-profit, absolutely. Non-profit, non-partisan. It's also not a PKB exercise. This is non-partisan.
The name Center for Indonesian Policy Studies, what is it actually? What does it do? Tell me.
We have a few aims. One is clearly to formulate proposals for the decision makers in Indonesia to adjust their policies.
Hold on. Which decision makers are you talking about?
I'm talking about decision makers in the legislative branch and in the executive branch of government. Means local governments as well as central government officials, as well as the parliament and also local parliaments. That's right. I've been working in the past with political parties here in Indonesia. I have got to know many politicians in the country. Yeah. Many of them are open to advice and to ideas.
Oh, really?
But I felt, together with Ibu Ida, we felt there is a lack of advice that is formulated in a way that politicians feel they can actually put it into practice.
In their language, basically.
In their language, basically, that's right.
And when you say policies in what?
Focus probably on economic policies, but economic policies, if you take it in a broader way, it'll affect society, it'll affect environment. I could give you a couple of examples. How later. How economic policy would affect all aspects of life actually here in Indonesia.
So basically you take economy as the core subject and then you also see the context.
That's right. That's it.
Social context. So when was it founded, actually?
We are in the process of registering right now, so it's brand new. We have already launched a few research projects, and we have also launched our communication efforts, but the actual legal registration is going to happen in a little while.
A question that comes when you say non-profit, you're not raising your own money. Where does the funding come from?
We are going into fundraising. We are asking networks of other think tanks.
So it's crowdsourcing, basically.
It's crowdsourcing. It's asking philanthropists to give us some support on project basis usually. We're trying not to ask our clients, meaning we're not trying to ask the politicians or anybody to fund us. We like to separate the sources from the
It would be, what is it, conflict of interest?
Might also smell a little funny when you come to political advice. That's right. We try to separate source from destination.
And when you say source, Indonesia, abroad?
At the beginning, mostly abroad. But hopefully we'll be able to also convince a couple of philanthropists in Indonesia, which there are, of course, to also support this institute.
Sure. When you say, Indonesia, why the choice of Indonesia, for example?
I personally have been working in a couple of countries in the region, in Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam. And to me, Indonesia is a country that...
The mysterious country.
Some people call it the impossible country. No. It's because Indonesia embarks on so many reforms at the moment in all aspects, on the judicial side, economic, social, etc. Indonesia is the probably best functioning democracy in this region here. And
no, correct me.
And therefore, we believe here is a great point where we can have the biggest leverage for our ideas. And that's why we started this in Indonesia.
And when you say our ideas?
Our ideas means, as CIPS, now we're talking a little bit about where we're coming from. We're trying to take people seriously in a nutshell. That means we're not thinking along the lines of create a law and then go out and educate the people how to understand it, but rather take the people as rational decision makers, farmers, workers, people, just take them as rational decision makers and take politics as the way of setting the right incentives. So what they do will serve the public interest as well, generate wealth, overcome poverty, etc.
So basically it's advising how you take decision or advising
It's
What?
more like a yardstick by which we measure existing policies, where we say, do
Right.
they actually empower people to take care of themselves?
Right.
Only if they do this, we will have the possibility that Indonesian development will accelerate,
Right.
and also, for example, to protect the environment. Here I give you an example now, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Go ahead.
We're talking about a big amount of deforestation in Indonesia.
Yeah.
We have huge problems. A lot of countries are coming in and advising
Right.
Indonesia what could be done, what not. But the problem is that nobody really thinks about the actual people on the ground, those who actually cut down those trees
trees.
for their purposes. Why are they doing it? Sometimes they do it out of the incentive system that exists.
Yeah,
They
right.
take the trees because they're worth more. They take the land because they need it for their agriculture,
Right.
etc. So is there a solution that will give them the incentive to protect the environment instead of just banning the logging or telling them not to do it? And I think there are ways to do this that take
Basically assuring that any policy you should take actually are sustainable. in a sense.
Exactly. Give the people the property right, for example.
Right.
Let them manage the forest instead of the government owning the forest and then
Telling them.
asking people and telling people exactly what to do. That's right. I just came back from Central Java,
Right.
where I heard about a case where villagers have complained to the local government that they are afraid that the Hutan Negara, the state forest, will be cut down by the government agency. And they protested and they said, please protect the forest. We need it because we are afraid of
The water,
landslides,
yeah.
flooding, etc. Now it's a conflict between the society and the government. It would be much better if the society would manage the forest sustainably, owning it or at least having the right to manage it, so that they can take care of their own forest. Give some of the benefits to the government, but keep some of the benefits for themselves. We have these models in other countries and it does work.
And talking about other countries, like this model of Center for Policy Studies,
Yeah.
does it mirror something somewhere else?
We're collecting examples from all over the world, actually.
Right.
In this case of property rights and deforestation, we're looking at Niger in Africa.
Niger.
They did not give property rights of the ground to the people, but what they did was they actually gave the rights to own the trees.
Oh.
So they avoided that problem by letting people own the trees, and
Netherlands. That has worked.
has worked a lot, giving them the incentive to grow more trees.
Okay, fortunately we have to break, so please stay with us, we will be back.